I mean, I don't really have an intro for these things. They're always too cheesy for me to actually, do anything with it. But just tell me about yourselves, who you are, what you do here at Chapman's, and a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Casey, you're up.
I'm Casey Daisy. I am the assistant brewer here at Chapman's. I've been here for about 3 years now.
Okay.
Good deal. I'm Jared Agler, head brewer. Been here about 6 years, professionally brewing for close to 10. Casey and I, childhood friends and co-workers.
It's kind of a cool dynamic. I've never had two people sitting here with me. What does a head brewer do? What does an assistant brewer do? What were those roles?
Casey gets to work hard and sweat.
Okay.
And I write emails.
Okay.
I'm jealous of him.
Okay.
It's a lot of what I do is I assist him in the day-to-day. We do a lot of the same duties. He does more of the management stuff, but I just help him with whatever tasks that we're attacking that day, and just we kind of feed off of each other. We have to. There's so many tasks that we're able to break off, but we kind of know where the other one's at, and it just makes the job a lot easier that way, I think.
Casey's really creative too, and I think that can help me a lot if
Do you rebound ideas off each other?
We
quite
do.
a bit?
We do, and he's great at naming beers and even just some of the ingredient selection we talk about when it comes to doing a recipe. So no, like you said, bounce things off each other, and it works well.
So, let's have a drink first. You never
Sure.
start too early.
Sure.
What are we drinking first?
Well, honestly, we could probably start with the Kolsch. One of the things I like about what we do here is we're really not trying to get out of the box on styles. So if it's Kolsch, I want it to be style correct, source the right ingredients, things like that. So this is our best foot forward at a proper representation of what that would be. But I love it. It's light, crisp, easy drinking. Personally, it's my favorite beer.
Yeah.
That we have here. So.
Gotcha. It's a nice lawnmower beer. Is that
Cheers.
what you're saying? Yes,
Lawnmower beer, yeah. There you go.
Gosh. Okay. Yep, you're right. So as far as your guys', because you're one of the bigger breweries that I've interviewed. What do you do on your day-to-day? Is it, like we were joking earlier, is it mainly sanitation, or is it, what do you day is what?
I think every brewer would agree that 80% of the job is glorified sanitation. And it's not a bad thing. It's just preparing for that one task. That one task might sound minimal, transferring a beer. However, it took however many hours before to clean, do this, do that, get everything ready, and do what we find properly. We try not to bend in our procedures. Day to day, we're just busy.
Yeah.
So making recipes,
Cleaning vessels,
cleaning
kegs,
cleaning floors.
And what kind of volume are we talking about? I mean, what's your system?
It's a 20-barrel brew house.
Okay.
We usually flip it over twice in a day when we do brew. Not always a day. Sometimes we'll do 2 days. But essentially, we're yielding 1,200 gallons of beer through one batch with several taprooms and can package. It can go pretty quick. And
so are you the canning team too?
yes.
yeah, yep.
Okay.
We are the every team.
Okay.
So
Yes.
So yep. Canning has been such a fun adventure. Trying to figure out machinery where I'm like, I like beer, I like making beer. Let's get into this. Let's do this. I've managed whatever, and then all of a sudden you get this canning line that you have to really figure out and respect. It's been cool to learn the knowledge on just the maintenance of it and a lot of the programming and things like that I just never thought I would be interested in. So, but
How long has your brewery been canning?
from day one.
Day one?
Day one.
Oh, okay.
Day one. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. So I have not been here since day one. I came about 6 months later, I'm pretty sure. That's what it was. Chapman's, the name, Jonnie Chapman, originally was an apple beer concept they kind of came with. And did that for a little while and started getting into some craft brews. The old head brewer, Dan Case, developed the brown ale, and I think that was a really big staple for us. And that's kind of how we evolved into doing the craft styles. But yeah, from day one, it was canning the apple ale or the ale cider.
The ale cider.
3 sips and you get it.
And where did you start? I mean, were you just a helper or what?
So my story is pretty unique. I graduated from the university here. At the time it was Tri-State, turned to Trine University. Health promotions and recreational management. This is healthy, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me.
For your health.
For your health. Stress reliever. Deal with the kids. But graduated college. 2008 was kind of a hard time as far as finding a job. And I had a steady job at Ruby Tuesday here in town bartending. And from there I bought some mixology books and really enjoyed just the craft. You know, they did this handcrafted cocktail stuff that was really neat and scratched and whatnot. And girl that I was dating at the time, she kind of always was like, if you made beer, that'd be really cool. And I was like, I don't know how to do it. It sounds scary, whatever. And bought me a homebrew kit, and yeah, it was like a Mr. Beer kit. I don't know if you know what that is.
Oh yeah.
It did not end well. I was like, this is, I'm done. You know, I don't want to.
Walking away now.
Walking away. This isn't for me. And she came over for dinner a couple weeks later and asked me to get ingredients out of her car. And there's this brand new all grain homebrew kit. And I was like, oh crap. And so it was a gift she got for me, and it was a nice system, and I kind of felt obligated to learn how to make beer, and from there I just kind of went ahead and so yeah, she's my wife now.
That's good. Yeah, I was wondering where that story was going to go.
Yeah, she's my wife now. And
when did you guys start homebrewing?
So let's see here. It was 2009. Yeah.
For me, I went from not brewing to professionally brewing with my connection with Jared.
Gotcha.
I had been around it. I'd never actually had done it myself until I got here. But they took a chance on me, and it's paid off for, I hope, for both of us, really.
Wasn't a chance.
It's been an awesome experience. I've learned a lot. And
so are you kind of taking it and running with it? Are you homebrewing at home now, whereas you were earlier?
I have not homebrewed at home, but I'll brew on our small scale here. We have a 20-gallon system, and every now and again we'll pull that thing out and do something.
I was going to ask, as a large brewery, what opportunities do you have on the small batch experimentation side? You say you really want to be true to style, but do you guys ever just go crazy with it?
So we've done some small stuff as far as going crazy with it. I think one of the challenges maybe we have is we got to remember what the consumer wants, and not what we want.
Okay.
And so
It's a fine line.
there really is, and it can be tough because you want to put your mark on it. Casey's finishing a batch of beer. He wants everyone to know, this is my best foot forward. This is for you. Nothing's wrong with getting crazy or unique with some beers. I guess we could talk about. I don't know what we're supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
It's okay. So we've been working on a barrel age program for 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
We, in my opinion, have some pretty stellar sours coming out, and also some pretty solid bourbon aged unique styles as well. It's just going to be kind of like a small bottle release series that we're planning on doing.
Okay.
So the answer is yes, there is some fun stuff we do. I just think the crazier you get, the more you want to make sure you got it under control. And so I think our biggest thing is making sure we do it right.
Yeah.
So.
Because when you deal with it on your scale, somebody, it's hard to mess up a batch and no one buys it. And it's
1,200 gallons that could just be gross. And it's happened before. That was probably the best advice I got when I first started was, you'll be surprised how much beer you actually pour down in the drain.
Really?
And I thought that was that just means you're just not, didn't get it.
Yeah.
But I think if you have a standard of, I'm not selling this, I'm going to pour it down the drain. I think you have to have that. That's the quality that makes you proud of what you have. And I think it's something you got to...
Keeps your reputation as a solid brewery by, it's not good, you don't sell it.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal for sure.
Gotcha.
So that is our Undaunted IPA.
Oh, gotcha. One of your staples.
Yeah, that was, so coming into, I started as the assistant brewer here.
Yeah.
So I was looking for an opportunity to learn, to grow as a brewer, things along those lines. So, we had the brown ale, that at the time was not my recipe. Total credit to Dan Case. The Undaunted is the first recipe that I crafted for this company.
Gotcha.
And that is something I love about this beer. And personally, I'm a fan of the Chinook hop.
Okay.
I think it's a great hop.
Yeah.
It's what I want out of an IPA as far as piney, earthy. I know a lot of people want to go to the juicy kind of fruity side. But so this beer really, all it does is highlight that hop. It's all that's in it.
So it's kind of your ideal IPA in your mind?
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, yeah. Yeah. It's 6 different hop additions. Honestly, mainly just 2 row barley, and then a little bit of special B just for a little color and a little bit of flavor contribution. But
Gotcha.
pretty simple beer.
All right. Well, I think I've had it before, but who hasn't had Undaunted in Northern Indiana?
Sells well for us so far.
Yep. That's really good.
That's what's interesting too. There's a lot of breweries that are just doing a ton of different beers all the time. That's a reliable thing. There's always going to be something different. For us, we want to try to do mainstays and then slowly kind of rotate some beers. Nothing's wrong, I think, either way. But with the Undaunted, I just like having that as the old reliable, I guess.
Yeah.
And so.
Gotcha. So what beers have you had a hand in creating so far?
I have helped on a little bit on the Oktoberfest in the last few years.
Okay.
Czech Pilsner.
Was your first beer the wet hop?
The first beer that I ever brewed here was a wet hop. Yes.
How'd that go?
I had been here a few weeks, and we had a pineapple bash party. So we had a hog roast. There was a band playing, and we brewed that night. That was an experience. It was a learning experience.
It was a great day, though.
It was an awesome day, but that was a really cool experience. Having the hop farmer come in, bringing the fresh hops that had just been harvested that day.
Yep.
Everyone's outside. He pulls up in his truck. He's got all these fresh hops. Bob, Route 9 hops.
Gotcha.
And
Yep.
everyone's outside going, "What's going on?" And they see the hops coming into the building, and it was pretty neat.
As far as recipe for me, on a small scale, one of my favorites, I did a raspberry Kolsch.
Okay.
That was
pretty good.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I love the Kolsch, and I'm a raspberry guy, so
They just made sense to marry.
They married pretty well together. Yeah.
Gotcha. Did want to ask a little bit about You guys have been opening tap rooms a lot.
Yes.
Where does that play in? I mean, can you talk a little bit about the strategy of that? And if you can't, tell me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, so the owner, myself, Casey, all grew up in a badass town you never heard of. Okay, it's the truth. Like Wolf Lake, Indiana, and it's a small town, and it was a big deal when we got a gas station.
Yeah.
Like it really was,
Yeah.
and like literally as a community,
No stoplight.
That was the conversation. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so when I started here, we were mainly just doing distribution only. It got to the point where people were like walking into the building like without permission to see if they could buy a beer. And it would like hold me up while I was like doing stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is cool. I don't want to say no. I don't, which way do we go here? But so I pulled a picnic table up and put it in the brewery and like that day literally made our first mug club members and gave them 2 glasses and said, take them home,
Yeah.
and it's like, there's something here, and talk to the owner and, well, the business plan's this. And then, so finally we looked at it and it was like, all right, this is getting overwhelming. People will not stop like coming in wanting beer. So we, on the weekend, would do growler fills out in the brewery. We just, where we're sitting now, this used to be 2 offices. And so we, so we did the growler fills, and then that started to be overwhelming. And it's like, okay, now what do we do? So old assistant brewer Dave, Michael, and myself, we pretty much had 2 jobs, construction and brewing beer. And we, with a $3,000 budget, built this tap room, and it's been around for 5 years now.
Yeah.
And so we really enjoy what it did and still doing for the community. And that's kind of what, in my opinion, craft beer is. Someone asked, like, what if that building next door is another brewery? And I was like, I'll shake his hand and swing a hammer.
Yeah.
Like, I'll help. So
It just brings more people.
it's about community, man.
Yeah.
Community. And we do a lot of things where we try to donate for different things. And with the tap rooms, though, we looked at Columbia City and said, man, like, it's a great community.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if there was somewhere for people to hang out and have locally made beer. Did that tap room as well. Worked out great. And I just think it's pinning these small communities and giving them an opportunity or a place to just gather and have fun. A lot of the communities do this thing called like First Friday, where first Friday of the month, there's music, there's food trucks, things like that.
Yep.
It's cool walking around Columbia City, my community, and seeing people drinking Chapmans and having fun.
Yeah.
Kids running around. Like, it's just that's what it's about. I mean, obviously there's business involved too.
Yeah.
But I personally will always buy anything local, and I think just the smaller communities with the tap rooms is a great way to go. If it was just here, I don't know.
Yeah. I can't imagine that.
Pretty crazy? Or it would be pretty crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it just means everyone has to drive to Angola
Yeah.
to have some Chapmans. And so I just like supporting small communities. I guess that's where I'm from. And I think we do that quite a bit through our tap rooms. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, what's our third beer?
Third beer. What is it, Casey? Here's the morning drinking.
Is that VSCO Disco?
It's probably VSCO Disco. It's a good story.
Should have drank that one first.
Having trouble tasting it after the
Before the
Undaunted?
IPA. Yeah. For sure. That's VSCO Disco.
VSCO Disco. Super mild pale ale.
Yeah. Especially after that Undaunted. It's
Yeah,
like,
I know.
where is it?
Yeah,
Should have
yeah.
swapped those.
It's my fault, guys. I'm sorry. I'll go sit in the back.
The ball. cut. No.
No.
Just joking.
Not again.
So is there a story behind that one, or is it just
Yeah.
looking for something more easy drinking for people?
You know, as a male brewer, I think it's easy for us to come up with like manly names for the most part. And it sounds weird. But my niece, God love her.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this was a term until a family camping trip, and my brother called his daughter a VSCO girl, and I was like,
Never heard of it.
what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so you look it up, and she likes turtles,
Like it's kind of like a
scrunchies.
'90s girl. Like they carry a water bottle. They wear hair scrunchies.
Not water bottles. It's the thermo flask.
Yes,
It's so. I thought
hydro flask.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, hydro flask. Yeah, we're old.
No, I have a picture in my mind, but yeah,
So yeah, if you ever Google like VSCO girl,
Like Lisa Frank and My Little Pony.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all like hodgepodge. It's a weird thing.
she's always asking about what we do here and the artwork and all that stuff.
yeah.
And I was like, man, we've never had like a feminine name before with our beers. Like honestly,
No, we haven't.
You know, Englishman and I don't know, Harvester. Anyways, so this was a tip of the hat to my niece and VSCO girls out there, I guess.
Awesome. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't know what a VSCO girl is, so for me, I didn't know, and when I was enlightened, get it? But yeah, so that's where the name came from. I do enjoy pale ale. I think it's a great style. We used to have one, and really just with the direction the company's been going with doing deliveries and our new subscription service and things like that. Roulettes, we've been brewing 2 different beers a month, and it was just a great opportunity to put that back into the cycle. I don't even like saying the word, but COVID.
Yeah.
So this beer actually was released in March.
Okay. So right as everything was rolling.
Right at the time. So, but no, I like it. I think it'll come back next year. It's just one of those things where
When do we have time?
when you can't go buy it, what do you do? So,
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit about the delivery service.
yes.
Why has that never been a thing before? How's that going for you? Just rant about it for me.
Sure. So the state actually, we thought, changed some rules due to COVID. Turns out we could have been doing this all along.
Really?
We just had no idea. And so it was awesome. It was really fun. Looking back, like
It was stressful.
I mean, from our point of view, we're told this crazy disease is coming, and then we're asked to go deliver beer to strangers' houses and subject ourselves. And so, I mean, honestly, in all fairness, like that's how we felt. And so, but we were smart. We did the proper things, and it was just really cool. We legally can do it. You just put your ID on the window or on your front door. Practice social distancing, and we would wear gloves, sanitize. I mean, we were pretty serious about it. Like
Most people would. They would tape their ID to their window. There was regulars. There was people that become, multiple times a week, and their
Really?
ID would be taped to their screen,
Yeah.
their storm door, and
and it was cool because I mean, I think that made people's day better. I'm not saying you got to drink to be happy, but like it was more just. It was fun for me to go to people's house and have them smile and be like, "Thanks, beer man," and it just it was
called the modern milkman.
Modern milkman,
Dropping their beer off with. They really appreciate that. And it was very noticeable. People leaving cookies, you know. Like,
Yes, yes.
For the
Tina.
the beer Santa.
Yeah, I got tipped in salmon one time.
Nice.
No, people. I love it. People are people, and they're all great. And so it was fun going door to door. I think it slowed down just because you can come into the tap room and have
People wanted to get out.
Absolutely,
People are back
man.
to work too.
Back to normal, and we still do it. We still offer it. We're doing a subscription. We talked about the barrel-aged beers that are going to be released in bombers. You'd have to sign up online for that, but yeah, I mean, it got us through financially. It very much helped us, and I think one of the things with us was, I think we were very thankful that we were able to still get a paycheck and do that. And it was also kind of a challenge too, where Casey, we got 25 orders today, like from how to here to all over, and trying to come up with a system and let that system evolve and get where we could just streamline things and make it run smooth. Looking back, it was fun.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think I'll
something
always
new, and we had to, like you said, we had to navigate that and figure it out, and we kind of implemented the system. We put the system in place for that. It was one day, this is what's going to happen. Monday we come in, and this is the new plan, and we went with it, and we just put the system in place, and we rolled with it, and it's become what it is.
Yeah, and it's fun because you get regulars now.
Yeah.
So there's regulars that we deliver to, and they support us.
A lot of times they
know.
They know what time you're going to be there.
They know. And you learn stuff. Like I worked in restaurants growing up, but I never delivered before. So it's just, you learn little tricks and things to make things better. And so, but yeah, we're still doing it. And we get, 10 a day? Ish. Like, it just depends.
Who does that now, though? Who does the deliveries for you?
Yeah. So, we got Austin, Jaden, they do it. Casey and I are able to, we do. Building this system, and it's definitely pretty cool. So.
No, that is cool. All right. Where are we at?
I think this is the Roggenbier. So here's the thing. This is the first beer I made with the company, and it was on the 20-gallon system. Not my recipe at the time. It's different now. But the head brewer, Dan, again, he made this with me, and I just fell in love with this beer. It's a Von Stefan yeast. It's 80%, 60% rye and Pilsner. And when you brew with rye, it sticks.
It's a tight mash.
It gets real tight. So when you're doing the mash process, you're trying to allow water to kind of flow through the grain.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that with rye.
Okay.
And so I just remember a very specific moment
That day was
brewing that beer. Him and I both called our wives and said, "We're not going to be home for a long time. It's going to be a while."
Was that your first time brewing with rye like that, or
On the big system, no. I mean, but with that amount of rye, yes.
Yeah.
And so the underestimated the amount of rice hulls I needed. I mean, we definitely had quite a bit in there, but it wasn't enough. But personally, I love this beer. A lot of people might not understand it, but just that character from the yeast. You're going to get clove, banana, maybe a little bubble gum, and then that rye, you get like a spiciness as well.
Yeah.
And again, this is a beer that just released right at mid-March. So sweet.
Yeah.
But the goal with it is spring was coming. It's barely 4%. Easy to drink. It's almost gone now, but I'm going to miss it, and maybe it can make an appearance next year. So
put this down. We don't have to drink the roulette yet, but let's kind of transition into what the roulette series is and what
Sure.
you've done so
Yeah,
far.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So as a company, we try to look at trends and see, obviously what's financially smart decisions when it comes to brewing a beer.
Yeah.
Going into your local bar and saying, I want to sell you this beer and keep it there forever.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Not now. It's not an option.
Okay.
So, as a bar owner, you want to rotate your tap handles as much as possible. That's just what sells. Money is money. And so, with that said, we're like, okay, we have these core brands that make sense, but at the same time, how do we capitalize on what we call churn in the market? And it's just different beer, different beer, different beer.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, well, Roulette's kind of cool. That name kind of shows what the beer could be, So essentially, it's new styles randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what it is. Here you go. Bar owners are usually pretty receptive to that.
Yeah.
And so is consumer as well. And so, and what's fun about it is it gives us a chance to do something unique versus doing the day-to-day, Englishman Enlightened IPA, things like that. So from there, a couple styles, we've done smoked porter, we did a Belgian triple, we got the Rios Russian Imperial Oatmeal Stout, binge jammin' IPA, things like that. And it's just a great way to kind of have fun on the side, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And a lot of people seek it out, and I think we're going to try to ramp that up.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And so pretty excited about it. Got a few things. So.
And then going into October, it's going to be primarily German-oriented beers. Is that the idea?
So October, we're definitely releasing our Oktoberfest.
Yep.
What's crazy is with pre-orders for delivery, most of it's already sold. So
really?
It's gonna be gone. Yeah. It's gonna be gone quick. So.
Don't bother watching this video.
I mean, we do have the 4-packs actually.
Okay. Never mind.
So you might be able to get one of those in the liquor store. So we're excited about it.
First year canning it too.
Yeah.
That's what's really exciting is we have not been able to capitalize on canning our roulette series, and we've done that once now.
Twice now. This
Twice now.
is actually the
And
third.
so-
This is actually the third time.
That makes sense, yeah.
We did.
'cause the
we did
stickers.
we did our German Fest Schwartz beer, and we did our binge jammin' IPA.
Okay.
So this would be our third canned roulette, which is super exciting because, again, it goes quick. And with the delivery program, you can pre-order, and that's making it. We're gonna have to make more. So we have
That's
that.
a cool problem to have, though. That
Yeah, it
there's
is.
that much hype and that much demand.
Not mad.
Yeah.
Not mad. We just don't want anyone to get upset if they don't get it. Is kind of where my heart is. The other side of it too is, so let's see, we are doing a wet hop IPA that'll be out in October. Fresh Chinook from Columbia City.
Okay.
So that beer is going to be released, and then there's the our Harvester Blonde Ale. We've made a choice to switch that to our Czechoslovakian Pilsner. So instead of a blonde ale now, it's going to be the Pilsner.
Okay.
The Pilsner's really got praised quite a bit for being stylistic, but it's also very approachable if you're, not used to craft beer. It's kind of that gateway beer.
Yeah.
So that's, one of the changes we have going forward. And then tomorrow we're going to brew the Rye American,
Okay.
which it's about 8.5-9%. We use rye as well, and Centennial, Cascade, and Mount Hood hops, and that's just a great fall beer. I mean, you only need one, but
Yeah.
Spicy.
spicy.
What are your favorite styles to brew, respectively?
Honestly, I'm more of a traditional guy myself, so I enjoy brewing the Kolsch. That's my favorite beer, the Pilsner. I don't mind IPAs, but
Favorite to drink or favorite to brew?
to brew really too, because it's the whole process. I just love being able to make the beer that I like, and then the whole process and finishing it to the point and being like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
I get enjoyment out of that. I like brewing IPAs and things like that because I see the joy that it brings the customer. But for myself, that it's not really my palate. But I like stouts too.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy brewing the Rios, the Russian Imperial Oatmeal Stout. It was a long day, but the outcome is makes it worth it.
Yeah, it's a fun beer. And with the barrel program too, I think it's almost like its own brewery in a way. Like I feel like it is completely
it's off in its own corner and it's doing its thing. And you monitor it, but it's exciting to see what comes from that. So we get barrels from local wineries that so for an example, Heartland Winery will get their hands on some Buffalo Trace barrels and throw a wine in it, and then we get that barrel that had bourbon and it had a wine in it, and the flavors that come off that are just amazing. So, for example, some of these things that are going to come out through our barrel age program, but we have a Czech Pilsner that was in a Marquette barrel and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially some of the peach wine too.
Yeah.
Like that, we did the Roggen and peach wine, and that probably let it sit for another year, but just all those flavors together, I think it's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
So, but
It's the unknown too.
it is, but I think that's where like the bartending comes into it. One of my favorite places was Cascade Brewing Company. We specialize in a lot of sours, and talking to them and just you taste it and blend it with this, do this. Like there's more to it than just saying I'm going to throw it in a barrel, and I think that's where it gets fun for me. Is
You can continuously improve it and
man, this would be good with pomegranate. This would be great with maybe
the two,
let it sit for a while.
Two separate barrels together.
So there's I think it's fun. It's a chance for creativity, which again I think that's Casey's got that one. So
you mentioned the subscription program. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's still in the works. I'm not necessarily the mastermind behind it, but Zach, my friend, would be able to help you out with that.
Jared tagged in for subscribers.
Sure.
The subscriber program.
Sure.
Just tell me a little bit about it.
Well, right now we have two different subscription options for you guys. So we have the Friday Club and we have the Roulette Club. So open for anybody who wants to join. The Friday Club means that essentially you sign up for beer delivered to your house every single Friday. Once you go to the portal, you can pick what beers, how much of the beer. You can get 1 growler, you can get 1,000 growlers, whatever you want, but that beer's coming to you every single Friday. You can cancel anytime, you can change it up anytime. So if you don't want to have the same IPA show up every Friday, you can change it to our pale ale or our brown ale or whatever you want to do. Roulette Club just means that you pay your subscription fee, so it's $15 a month, and you get every new beer we release. So every month we typically have between 1 and 2 beers released. Those will come to you on, I believe it's the 16th of every month, and then I think it hits your card like on the 1st or something. But both of those you can subscribe anytime, you can cancel anytime. Super easy for you guys. Just makes a lot of sense.
Gotcha.
Easy.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, no problem.
First,
Stout.
We're skipping the second to last one, going to the very last.
Yep.
What are we looking at?
All right, so this is our Valiant Stout. Again, one of the first beers I brewed with Chapmans. It was a pretty interesting year. Did a lot of first.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this really for me, I don't want something that's gonna knock you down sort of scenario. I'm a fan of malts. Anyone that knows me, they know that I make malty beer.
Yeah.
I do it on purpose. That's
what you enjoy?
That's the signature
Yeah.
that we have. Again, this is something that you should be able to drink at a fire, hang out, kind of thing. I like the roasted character that this has, a hint of coffee, but yeah, this is the stout. It's won 2 gold medals.
Wow.
But
Through,
yeah.
through what?
So there is a international beer can competition called Can, and it's doubled up year after year so far. So
Awesome.
pretty excited about it because canning beer, there's a lot of room for error, and as all small breweries know, like when it comes to your cans, there's just going to be things that happen as far as quality.
I'm curious because I see a lot of breweries. I want to explore this a little bit.
Yeah.
I see a lot of breweries going to canning, and that's kind of a footprint thing, I think.
Okay.
Is it? I'm asking here because
Yeah. I mean, well, I personally, I love the 16-ounce can.
Okay.
I think the package itself is awesome. I think it makes sense. As a craft beer fan, you go to the liquor store, you're walking around. I'm either going to buy 6 12-ounce beers or 4 16-ounce beers. And it also gives you a chance to do artwork and another level of marketing to let someone at least try the beer first.
And where does that compare to, like, say you're doing a stout or something that's a bit more heavy, or one of your barrel aged, doing the canning versus the bottling, how does that affect the flavor long term?
I think honestly they're both great.
Okay.
There's things you got to worry about, oxidation, any kind of potential wild yeast contamination. So your beer could go sour. Shelf stability is pretty important, and that's one of the things that a lot of small breweries deal with. Try to have a line of communication with some of the local guys too on what they do. But I mean, for us, we don't have the money to install, pasteurizing or even centrifuge. So one of the things that we're lucky enough to do, and they've greatly impacted us, is the college here in town have helped us with some of the senior projects in the chemistry department.
That's cool.
It's really cool, and I love it. And John Wagner was a big part of Chapmans. That's a whole nother story. He's actually, without him, I don't think Chapmans would be here.
Okay.
He actually brewed the first ale cider, from what I understand. And so
That's cool.
Yeah, kind of neat story, but great person, and his seniors, when they do their end of the year projects, they've helped us with making like a mini pasteurizer just to see if it would work or whatnot. But last year, what was really impactful was really intense pH testing, and then they also did a class on yeast counting. So we had an issue with like the brown ale, the yeast that's in our brown ale. It's very resilient, and it's actually caused that beer several times to explode.
Because it just keeps fermenting after you can it?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And so we have been now able to count yeast cells and put a baseline to if it's ready for canning or filtration, things like that.
Okay.
And so
it counts yeast as a total or just active yeast?
So yeast as a total.
Okay.
So one of the things we never did in the past was filtration. So that's been a game changer for us, being able to do that. And then, from counting yeast cells and talking to other breweries, keeping cold storage, really don't want to be on a warm shelf for the most part. But till we get bigger, we'll have to get that equipment in place. But
there's always something you can get to make it better.
Yeah. New toy.
Gotcha.
Bottles, though, A lot of people cork them. That could be scary if you have that same issue if it's on a dry shelf.
Bottle exploder. Yeah.
One of them, but no, I think cans are. I think they're a solid way to go. Your equipment's important. I mean, we used to have an issue getting our lids on the right way. It's just kind of learning, you know.
Yeah.
When you hear making beer, you think, oh, just recipe. No, it's calibrating the seamer and doing, you know, all these other things. And so there's a lot more to it than just making beer.
Gotcha. Did you guys always have this big a system, or was this okay?
Yeah. Day one. So
you've been dealing with this big guy since the beginning.
Yeah. Kind of learned to love it at this point.
Yeah.
I think we got. I don't want to say. I'm not saying it.
At first it was restrictive,
But now it's a party. Oh man. So yeah. The we are going to hand bottle the barrel aged beer. So
okay.
That'll
be cool.
The glass that'll probably be our first ever
We bottled things to send off for events and festivals,
competitions and stuff, but
for investors.
But
and
for
things.
purchase,
Yeah.
I think that's
This
the
is
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm gonna consider that.
Keep an eye out for your barrel aged stuff and everything else.
They're pretty fun. I think we're gonna keep it going. I think
hope
we're
so.
gonna stop with it.
I do. I enjoy it.
How's the waiting element?
I think what I like about it is we didn't say coming in 2021 this beer.
Yeah.
So there's, to me, no pressure. It's more, this thing's like where it needs to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. Let's get this out there. It's not ready yet. Let's just wait. Come back to it later. So, one, you know, trying beer in the fermenter from day 1 to day 2, day 3, day 4. Always try it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You learn what to look for in those changes. And with the barrel age, it's like, I know this barrel's good. I like, you know, what this beer is. But there really is an unknown to it, too. I mean, I'd like to meet the guy that's going to be like, well, it's going to taste like this. You know, 'cause I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like, again, I think just knowing how blending works and things like that, you can do some cool stuff. But
Okay. Well, if you're ready, let's talk about the Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest. So traditional Marzen style kind of international lager.
Mm-hmm.
This one is not what I would call stylistic.
Okay.
As a malt forward brewer, I this maybe should have less flavor contribution as far as the malt goes, less body, things like that. But for me, when I think of this style of beer, this is what I want from it.
Really?
For me personally. And so, but
And people have enjoyed it in the past, so it makes.
Yep.
Keep going.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So traditionally, this beer is usually brewed in March, and then aged in caves, and then tapped after the harvest.
Okay.
With the caves, the temperature is important because it's lager yeast that ferments at a lower temperature, and then conditions, maturates, things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for me, it's caramel biscuit crisp. So that's what
That's
I
what
think
you
of
want, yeah.
When I hear Oktoberfest.
Yeah, just hopefully you check our tap rooms out. We're back open, in this new norm, I guess that they're wanting us to say. Also, check our delivery program out. Our website, shopchapmans.com or shop.chapmansbrewing.com.
Yeah.
Check us out. We got that going, and we're really working on a roulette program. So I hope you check that out.
All right. Well, thank you. And yeah, the roulette series as a whole sounds really fun. Just an opportunity to try new things out.
It's currently my favorite part of my job right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
it
being
seems-
creative,
it
having
seems-
fun. Like it makes it fun.
The delivery program, it's something happened during COVID and the delivery program where the roulette series, I feel like it really took hold.
Yeah, we started doing pre-sales, and that was a really big thing.
Yeah. So you get the pre-sales, you get your beer, and you also get a poster.
Mhm.
I mean, with that beer. So that's something that the customers come to love. I think that they're collecting. They get the beer, but you know when the growler's empty, there's this artwork that's left from it, and they can remember that, and then hopefully next year, you know, we'll have this, and they can do it again.
Yeah.
Have
And
that
that-
same beer.
That's something that was really cool. Was a lot of people would ask just to buy the artwork sometimes too.
Yeah.
Just because they wanted to have a Chapman's VSCO Disco poster in their
Yeah.
garage or whatever. You know, it was, I don't know. That was pretty cool.
We've had people try to order from outside of state, and it's been an interesting.
We've met them. We've met them at the state line. though.
We've made
it work. You know,
and it's usually for swag too. You know,
Yeah.
someone's trying to order a T-shirt. Or,
Mhm.
You'd be surprised how many people come in the door here or get a hold of us and want something Chapman's related because their last name is Chapman's, and they're
Really?
just blown away that somebody's got a, you know, there's a business with their family name on it, and it's multiple times a year I've seen people come in here and ask for a shirt just passing by. My last name's Chapman, and just thought that'd be cool. Yeah, so that's
true.
It's a good story, and I think the brewery is a good destination point.
Yeah, it's a neat position to be so close to Michigan and Ohio. Get a lot of
Yeah.
passerbys.
Yeah, especially through the COVID, you know, things going on in Michigan. There was people
That
that
was-
were
oh,
very. It was tough because we were closed, but there were people pulling in the parking lot a couple times a week that we had
Had to turn away.
yeah, just because that was the situation. But we would tell them we're doing a delivery while you're here. Go online.
We weren't
Yeah.
open yet. As a company, but as a state, we legally could have been.
Yeah,
And we got flooded with people from Chicago and Michigan, like Ohio. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, I was just here by myself getting ready for deliveries. We just got flooded by all these people from out of state, and they wanted to feel normal and,
Yep.
you know, be responsible, but same time just
Enjoy a beer.
sit down and have a beer, you know? So
Well, thank you.
made it
Appreciate
happen.
it, guys. I'll
Hey,
give you
you
some
too,
nuts.
man.
thank you.
I appreciate it.